Hey everybody, it's XL 10-minute leaders live. 10 minutes peering into the lives, learning about leaders, leadership, people from different parts of the world, from business, technology, society. My name's Graham Brown, and I'm a great believer that leadership really is defined by the journeys we all undertake. So we get inspired by the journeys of other people, the challenges they face. So let's go there. Let's talk about journeys and challenge and overcoming. Joined in the studio today by Roman Mironov, all the way from East Coast of Canada. Roman, welcome to the show. Good morning to you.
Good evening, Graham, and thank you so much for having me today on the show. I'm so excited. It's a privilege. Thank you.
Well, we've got 10 minutes together. Before we kick off, you're living in the Toronto area, but originally, where are you from?
I am from Russia. I moved to Canada 2 years ago.
Oh, just 2 years ago. Which part of Russia are you from?
Well, it's close to Moscow, which is the capital of Russia. It's 300 kilometers to northeast.
Wow. Okay. Fantastic. So it's been a journey already. So we've got 10 minutes together, Roman. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Okay. So let's go. 10 minutes starts now. Roman, tell me what's on your business card.
It says relationship coach because this is one of my top two specializations, helping people
Hmm.
with relationships,
Relationships means what exactly?
intimate relationships.
Hmm. Between partners, between in business or between families? What?
Yeah, between partners in a family setting or in a couple,
Hmm.
intimate, romantic relationships.
Hmm. Why do we need relationship coaches? What's broken?
Well, there are quite a few things. Definitely one of them is that we're in this modern society that tells us that we have to have a lot of expectations of our partner.
Hmm.
They we want them to be this and that and meet a lot of our needs. And this is the yeah, I mean, this creates a lot of stress for the partner, and that's a huge reason why a lot of couples and a lot of marriages actually fall apart,
Hmm.
just because of those un you know too difficult expectations.
Yeah. Especially in the modern world as well. Could you do what you do now in Russia?
I probably could, yeah. Well, why not? Why not?
Okay.
It's a different market. It's a
Yeah.
different market, and like the main problem with this is that people are in Russia surviving on a daily
Mm.
basis oftentimes, and living on, let's say, $400 a month. That's pretty challenging, right? So coaching is not something that people are really excited about in Russia, I would say so.
Yeah. In the pyramid of needs, it's pretty low priority, isn't it? When you're thinking about food, family, thinking about the quality of a relationship probably comes last. These are what we think about when we have gone beyond survival. And what about yourself? What makes you good at this? I'm curious to know why you feel that you are good as a relationship coach. What's your superpower? How was that something you were born into? Did you learn through your own challenges? Tell me, what made you a good relationship coach?
Yeah, and actually, I should speak about my main specialization, which is helping people conquer porn addiction.
Hmm.
And this was something that I overcame when I was about 32 years old, and I've been staying away from porn for many years now. And I think that this challenge that I've been through is actually my superpower
Hmm.
because I'm relatable and I resonate with people who are in the same predicament as I were years ago. So I think that it's also about my discipline. because my discipline actually helped me conquer porn, and I would say it
Hmm.
discipline. Yeah.
Is it a big problem that people have? Is there more people that have it than admit to it? Because drug
Oh yeah.
addiction's obvious, isn't it? I mean, if I have a drug habit, it's obvious. I'm using the drug and I can see that it's affecting my relationships. And that would be, I would consider myself a drug addict or a junkie. But with porn, everybody's doing it to some degree. So it seems like, well, maybe it's not an addiction.
Well, yes, I would say so because it's somehow porn is more socially acceptable compared to drugs. That is true. And and it's true that it's sort of hidden. People don't talk about it too much, and that's why they think that it's sort of normal and like even healthy to some extent because people start replacing their real sexual life with porn in their mind, and they say, "Oh, that's normal. I don't have an intimate relationship right now, so I would just go to porn." And that seems like a very good idea until you really get hooked onto it.
Hmm. I was listening to Russell Brand talk about addiction to porn and to drugs as well. And he says it's a disease. That the addicts are just like people who have diseases. We have to treat them in the same way rather than treating those people as in some way broken or dysfunctional. What do you think about that? Do you agree, or do you see people who get addicted to these dysfunctional behaviors as their own problem, or do you see it as a mental problem? Because I guess how you see the problem is important to how you actually fix it, right?
Well, I would say that there are three groups of people who use porn. The first one is like it's the healthiest group. Those are recreational users, and they sometimes do watch porn, and they're not really addicted to it. The second group is people who have some sort of an issue, and they go to porn to actually escape that issue. So they're using porn as a coping mechanism, and those are non-compulsive users. And the third group is compulsive users who also has an issue, and this group really is addicted to that to porn,
Hmm.
and that's the most difficult group to deal with because it's not just the addiction to porn itself for that group, but also an underlying problem. So
Hmm.
let's say depression or anxiety. And so when I work with this sort of people, with this sort of clients, I actually have to work in two directions. The first one is stopping the actual addiction, and the second one is dealing with the root issue, which is not easy but doable.
What is the root issue often the case? Is it mental wellness issues, or is it something else? Is it stress? What tends to be the case if you were to group all the people that you deal with? What are the major drivers?
I would say like overall unhappiness with life,
Hmm.
and this includes anxiety or depression or just boredom.
Hmm. Yeah. Imagine, because we need stimulation. We need some kind of sensory input. How has that changed as well in the last 18 months? We've had a very strange 18 months, if it's 18 months yet, but let's say a year and 4 months since lockdown, since February 2020, when the world changed. And now we're in a situation we're spending a lot of time indoors, a lot of time alone, a lot of time in front of screens. I imagine this issue has become an issue for a lot of people now. So what has changed this short time? What have you seen and observed?
That's right, Graham. Obviously, the trend has been up with people watching porn and realizing that this has become a problem because they're really at home all the time. Oftentimes they're alone, and loneliness is actually a huge trigger for many people to watch porn and masturbate. So I've seen more clients, I've seen more people thinking about it and realizing that, yeah, it has become a problem with me and I want to do something about it.
Hmm.
And a lot of people actually feel this is something that I like. They feel that there is so much potential in them, and by watching porn, just by merely wasting the time and mental energy on it, they are squandering that potential.
Hmm. Do you think media makes it worse? Do you think these things make it worse? Do you think Instagram and all the constant imagery, and more in the sense that it makes us feel bad? Like you say, loneliness. If I look at Instagram, I see pictures of amazing people living amazing lives. If I was maybe a teenager looking at that, I might feel in myself, look at me. I'm ugly. I'm boring. I'm lonely. And I see all this here. That must be tough. That must be giving that kind of insecurity and unhappiness in people. That must be making it worse, surely.
Sure, sure, that's right. And the other way social media actually exacerbates the problem is that there are a lot of beautiful images
Hmm.
and of people, and people start looking at Instagram, they get a little bit excited sexually, then they go to something else and they end up going into porn and even into quite intense porn. So it's like a progression where the social media is the first step in the progression.
Hmm.
So that's
The
why it's a
gateway.
good idea to, yes, the gateway.
Roman, very interesting. I enjoy this conversation, and not an easy conversation to have, I think, in the public sphere as well, but it's real. And I'm sure people out there, especially now, given what's going on, are feeling this. And thank you for being brave and honest to talk about this as well, in without feeling embarrassed about it. I mean, it's not easy as well. So, and because that gives other people strength to talk about this as well. Where do people find out more about yourself, Roman?
Oh, the best place is my website, which is romanmironov.com, spelled as RomanMironov.com. And from there, you have all my social media links, including my Instagram, where I am quite active. And if you go to the contact tab and hit me up for a free coaching session, also make sure to mention that you're coming off Graham's podcast, and I'll be happy to give you a 30% discount.
Fantastic. Roman Mironov, everybody. Roman, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thank you, Graham. It's a privilege.